great pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I stumbled upon your videos, and the first one that was actually sent to me, emailed to me by my partner Lee, had to do with driving and couples and how they interact and communicate and what should and how it should be said.
Oh, the direction one.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, tell me right out of the gate why you started this and how you started this.
Well, you know, Suzanne and I, we've been married. Well, we've been together for 25 years now. My wife Suzanne and I. We come from really different backgrounds. She's Jamaican background. I come from Indian background, different religious upbringing, and we met in high school in Ontario. And we fell in love, and then that's when a lot of the challenges started happening because the parents were really against that, you know, because of that era and that time, right?
Yes,
different
of course.
cultures and all that.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, we really fought for our relationship, and as we matured and grew older, we recognized there's all types of challenges that couples have and that we were facing. So we went deep into the study of what's it going to take to keep our passion alive amidst all the, you know, all the crap that gets in the way. Families, money, health, different directions each couple has. One person's feeling turned on and sexy, and the other person's feeling flat and dry. So many reasons, right? So we faced them all. And about 12 years ago, we started offering workshops and seminars internationally, all across the world. So we've had over 10,000 couples and singles attend our couples events. And so about a year and a half ago, Suzanne and I, we started to take a break from that. We recognized, you know, very few people, you know, when we met people who said, oh, I took your workshop, that was awesome. Very few people remembered what we said, the words, but they remembered the experience.
Right.
Because the experience was so passionate, right? What we did was we'd get couples to come together, face each other, and then have all these fun, interactive experiences. Rather than, it's like music is an experience.
Absolutely.
We could talk about music,
Yeah.
but it's a different thing than going to a concert, right? Or listening to music. Makes your body move, you want to get into it.
Yeah.
So in the same way, we started moving away from lecturing and books and trying to get knowledge into people's heads. Because let's face it, you know, a lot of guys I know, including myself, have had enough of knowledge. And we're not necessarily the ones who are first drawn to relationship books or therapy or things like that. All those things have their value, but for a lot of guys, they don't have as much value because, you know, there's a lot of guys who aren't interested in getting therapy and trying to work on their problems. And unfortunately, a lot of those books and therapies and things are very skewed towards the feminine, much more skewed towards the feminine, right? So we decided, you know what, to heck with courses, trying to understand it through the head and trying to get information in our head. Let's drop all that and just create amazing experiences which foster passion and keep it alive and keep that intimacy, that love, that connection really going. So that's what we're on. Our mission is to make a dent in the divorce rate. It's 51%.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah. Is growing worse year after year. The second marriage rate of divorce is 61% more and plus. So we said, you know what? Instead of focusing on the problem, let's focus on couples having a great time together. So that's where we started Ignite Passion Now socials. And it's a way for couples to get together. And instead of, hey, what do we do tonight? What do we do this weekend? When you're tired of going to the dinner, when you're tired of doing what you've already done 100 other times. So this is something where all you have to do is get dressed and we take care of the rest, you know.
And the reaction's been extraordinary. I read your blog and I look at the videos and the comments that follow each and every video. It's pretty fascinating how people are incredibly appreciative. This is it's a universal thing, as we were talking before. People, you know, in relationships have problems and challenges, and they need guidance and instruction. And it's not right and wrong. Do you look at it that way, right and wrong, or is it?
I don't look at it as right and wrong. I look at it as, you know what? There's a big difference between the masculine vibe within us, and the feminine vibe within us.
Yeah.
Those of us who have more of a masculine vibe like us, all right, we're more moved, we're more motivated by the desire of having more freedom in our life, seeking more freedom from obstacles in our life, freedom to do what we want more so, to enjoy life even more, freedom from the constraints of family time, money, all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now that's the first value for those of us who are more masculine oriented. It doesn't matter if you're male or female.
Right.
When I mean masculine, I mean I mean, that part in us that's connected to freedom. Okay? It just happens to be about 70% of men are more masculine. Okay? Then there's the feminine vibe. And the feminine vibe is all, the priority for the feminine is the flow of love, the flow of connection, the flow of closeness, like how close can we be? So a person who's got a feminine heart, like my wife, deeply feminine, because you always attract your reciprocal.
Absolutely.
Always attract your opposite, okay, reciprocal. So she's really moved by the whole feeling of, what? Is there enough love? Did I love you enough? Did you love me enough? And when she's not feeling that flow of love between us as a couple, then she gets all crunchy, tight, tense. And, what happens is those who have a feminine vibe, they're not sure what that feeling is, but it's in their body. It's uncomfortable. They feel tense and they feel grouchy and irritable. And that's where all those negative, slang words come from, how a woman is being. That's simply because she's not feeling her body full of love and that love flowing. So when we understand that the primary value of the masculine is freedom, and secondary it's the flow of love, but it's the opposite for women who have more of a feminine essence. For them it's love and connection and intimacy first, and then it's freedom. Because we don't have that knowing in basic society, we're always clashing heads, fighting over the same old stuff over and over again.
Power struggling.
And wondering, and in the back of our head, we're going, you know what? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be with them. Maybe we should break up. When it's only a simple retuning of how you connect with each other, how you speak to each other, understanding what's priority, and having great times together.
When that happens, when you're aware of that, and maybe you're not aware of how you're behaving or sounding or communicating or tone of voice or the words used, and she reacts or gets triggered, and she, down.
Yes.
What do you do? I mean, what do you do? First off, I think you have to be aware of that and most people go, well, what's wrong?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, us as masculine guys, we always go for the solution first of all. Mm-hmm. And feminine people aren't looking for the solution. They just want to be heard. They want to be heard, they want to be felt, and they want to be seen. They don't want a solution right away. If you have one down the road after you've heard them, after you've fully received them, after you've gotten them, how do you do that, right? The simple, really simple way. Imagine the whole front surface of your body, your eyes, your nose, your jaws, your chest area, your belly. You want to soften that when you're speaking and when you're connecting with your woman. Why? Because she feels that you're more available. Even if you can't see it, the difference in your physiology, but if you relax the whole front surface of your body, you're more available. Now, you also need to keep your spine strong, solid, because women can't stand, they get turned off by flaky guys that, well, maybe we'll do this, maybe we'll do that, vacillating, teeter-tottering, going back and forth. So what the feminine really appreciates is when we are in our, let's put it, in our masculine power, which means that we have a sense of humor, right? We have a sense of humor, and we're able to imagine we're out in the middle of a storm and there's a storm brewing, okay? Rather than fall over or push away, you just want to be anchored and let her express all that she wants. And you have to be really open to receiving it. After she's shared that tension that's gone on, let's say, she starts to calm down and you'll start to get more of her juicy side back. Her sexy, her evocative, her beauty will start showing up, but you got to be present.
Not take it personally. Not be insecure about it.
Absolutely.
Let her go.
Recognize it's just the flavor of her mood in that moment. It's like the clouds. You can't predict the clouds.
Right.
But how you stay in the weather is up to you. If you run from it, she's going to feel it.
Brilliant. When you're in a seminar, webinar, it's talking to people wherever you go and you have a Q&A, I'm sure. What's the top two questions that men and women ask you? Is there such?
Yeah, you betcha. One of the top ones is how do we keep our sex life strong? How do we keep the spark alive?
Right.
And the way, what we share, my wife Suzanne and I, is it's really simple. One of you has got to take more of the claim role. One of you's got to take more of the surrender role. Another way of looking at it is like tango dancers. There's not one who's more powerful than the other. But the feminine in the tango dance, she's following, but she's also in a way guiding it, and so is the gentleman in the dance. So you have to have this push, what we call polarity. And polarity equals passion. That means one partner's in their feminine energy in a moment of sexual excitement.
Right.
And one partner's in their masculine energy in a moment of sexual excitement. It could be either one, and you can switch back and forth.
Right.
So it shouldn't be like a stereotype, like all men should always be in their masculine, because you're going to get hardened and go throwback to the 1950s.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you should be all soft either, like the typical new age flowing guy. What you have to do is learn how to play that push and pull, play that game of ravisher and ravishee sexually with deep connection. And when that game is created between the couple, man, the passion goes through the roof.
Those are the three stages that you were mentioning before when we first talked, right?
Yes.
The 60s, lots of backbone, no heart. Towards the end of the decade, the Woodstock hippie generation, less backbone, more heart. Now it's a combination of all, right?
Exactly.
Where the balance is, as you just articulated.
Exactly. It's like when we as men, we feel good about being men and we don't make excuses about being men. We're here now. If crap's gone on in the past, it's happened. But we got to claim who we are today. And as men, when we have a sense of purpose that's bigger than just our balls, let's say, when we have a sense of, you know what, I'm here to do something. I'm here to make a bigger impact in my wife's life, in my children's life, in my society, whatever your connection is, right? That's felt by the feminine. They love that. They get turned on by that. And for women, what turns men on by women is when a woman is really connected to her body. She's okay about being a woman, and she loves her juiciness, her femininity, but it's not from a place of weakness. She's in her strong feminine vibe, and that's what makes really a passion for a lifetime.
Ignite Passion Now. Some of the hot topics that I was reading on your blog. Newlywed passion killers. What's the top thing?
Kids.
The secret of what really turns on men.
The secret of what really turns on men is polarity. So having a woman totally in her seductress side within herself. So the part that she is in her power, but she's seducing his power, his nobility out of him.
What really turns on women?
A present man who's claiming her heart and is in his body.
You mentioned something that makes women feel, this is really unsexy. Mama's boy.
Let me give you an example. Let's say it's Friday night, okay? And you're wondering as a couple, what should we do tonight? And she says, well, I don't know, let's go for Italian. And you're going, well, maybe that's a good idea, but let's check out this. And you're going back and forth. Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? That is a passion killer because you've depolarized the relationship. No one's making a decision. No one is standing up and making direction, a claim. So when, let's say, for example, the masculine of the member of the couple goes, hey, Friday night, 7 o'clock, wear red. And he says it in a joyful way, in a humorous way, not in a brute way, but with love and with a bit of a tickle inside. And 99% of women loved it because they're like, wow, I don't have to think about anything. I could just show up and be a woman and enjoy my night with you,
Couples that are working together, planning to work together, is that a passion killer? Or it can be just a beautiful, incredible, extraordinary experience?
It can be, but it's challenging, okay? So another passion killer is couples who are spending way too much time together. If you've got, the old metaphor story I heard of two walls. If you have walls of a house and the walls are too close together, well, the ceiling falls. If they're too far apart, the ceiling falls. So you have to have healthy distance and healthy togetherness. That's really important, okay? So if you're working together or you're spending a lot of time together, have separate time where you as, like, for example, myself as a guy, I go out and hang out with my guy friends. I go do some sports. I'm into martial arts, so I train martial arts. She goes away, meets her girlfriends, goes for a walk, takes the dog out, has her own time to air out the day's busyness. Then when we come together, it's sparks. Because now we're not coming together with all this stuff in our head and all this stress that's accumulated in our body throughout the day.
IgnitePassionNow.com. And the other one is for your upcoming event.
It's IPN Social. So the IPN Social, Suzanne and I, we've launched these socials, and we're starting right here in Vancouver.
Cool.
All right, starting right here in Vancouver. And it's social for couples to get together, to have a great time. All you have to do is get dressed. We take care of the rest. And we're really happy to announce we're launching that October 6th. And it's going to be a beautiful dinner, cruise, dance, slow dance, dirty dance, everything you can think of on a beautiful boat yacht that we've hired that's happening in the harbor of Vancouver. So IPN Social, and just for couples, all right?
Fantastic. It's a great pleasure to meet you.
I'm really honored to meet you too. And I actually wanted to share one more thing, and that's,
yes,
I think every couple should have a sense of where their passion is today. Where are they, and how can they take it to the next level? And that's why if you go to our website, IgnitePassionNow.com, if you go to the top right-hand side, you'll see a Passion Pulse. It's a free download, and you do this by yourself or with your partner, and it's 101 ways to really ramp up the passion practically. So download that, check that out, do it with your lover, because you'll get a lot of insight on what's happening, and there'll be a lot of sizzle at the end of it for sure.
Sizzle is really important and fun.
Absolutely.